Hey there, NLC Kids Experience team members. Thank you so much for everything that you do to make that check-in experience for families a success. You are that first face that families see, so your warm welcome, your smiling face really helps to make families feel like their kids are going to be safe and well cared for back in NLC Kids. Studies have shown that new families, when they're entering a church for the first time, they'll make a decision within the first 5 minutes on whether or not they're going to return to that church. So if you think about it, that's you. That's you that you get to help them make that decision on whether or not they can begin their journey with Jesus based on how their experience is when they're checking in their kids. So thank you again so much for everything that you do. I wanted to really quick go over that first time check-in experience for new families. Of course, we have these NLC Kids registration cards with all of the information here on the back. So I would just ask that you welcome new families and say, here we have a card with all of your information to fill out. Hand them the clipboard, let them fill that out with a pen. And before taking that card, please check over the card and just be sure that everything has been filled out. Address, phone number, allergies, everything. That way, not only can we contact them if we need them during the service, but we also send a welcome letter to all new families during the week to say, thanks for coming, thanks for being a part of NLC Kids. So we need to make sure we have all of that correct information on the registration card. So once you receive that card, as you know, for new children, you'll give them a green bracelet with their name and their allergies on there. And there's a little stub that you rip off and hand to the parents. If there's more than one child, I always recommend writing the child's first name on that little stub. That way, when they're coming back to pick up their children, they know which classroom to go to with which stub, and they're not kind of trying to hand all 3 stubs maybe to one of the leaders and trying to figure out which stub belongs in which classroom with which child. So just write the kid's first name on there, and that'll help organize it for the parents. If the children are really little, so babies, 1s, maybe even 2s if they're tiny, and those bracelets would be too small on their wrists, you can ask or you can fill this card out as well. I would suggest putting the phone number right on here, and here's why. Little ones, especially for their first time, sometimes have a difficult time. It's easiest for us to contact the parents of little ones if the phone number is written right on this card. We can text the parents if there's an emergency or if the little one's just really not making it. So please write the phone number on there. And then we also have these brand new NLC Kids updated brochures that you can hand to every new family that comes in. It has all kinds of information about our NLC Kids environments. So we'd love for you to hand those out to any new families after you've checked them in and given them their name tags. Once they're checked in, once they have their brochure, please walk them back to their classrooms, and on the way, build some relationships with them. Make them feel welcome. Make them feel that, like, you know, they're the star for that service. Talk about the classes and what the kids will experience in each one of those classrooms, and really just make that an enjoyable and comforting experience for each parent. I also wanted to touch really quick on opening and closing our doors at the appropriate times, those doors that head back into the NLC Kids environments. The doors should be opened at 20 minutes prior to when service starts. Before that is the time that everyone in the back is getting ready, praying together, having the 2-minute drill, getting into the classrooms. We want to open the doors at 20 minutes prior to service and be ready. So please just be mindful of that and swing the doors open at that time. Then about 15 minutes after service has started, you can close those doors up again. And then, of course, if families are trickling in, you can open the door and let them in. But just, again, try to be mindful of that between each one of the services. That way, everything just looks ready and fresh for families when they walk in 20 minutes prior to when service begins. The last thing I wanted to ask is please get into the habit of one person that's up at the check-in kiosk, so one person per service, overseeing counting each one of the classrooms. So we need to get a count of how many kids and then how many leaders are in each one of the classrooms. So if one of you could help out and just walk around, count up each one of those kids and each one of those leaders, you want to do it at about 30 minutes into when service starts. That way we can capture all of the families that are already in, even those that may be trickling trickling in a little bit late. So about 30 minutes in, please have somebody walk around with a piece of paper, jot down how many kids and leaders, and then I will put that into our database. So thank you again so much for everything that you do. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll see you this weekend.